Hello, welcome. So, personal style has been a bit of a hot topic for the last while. I'd say probably like 2 or even 3 years now. At first, everyone was very excited because we're all burnt out on trends and we all want to find our own personal style. But at the same time, we want that style to have a aesthetic label that we can use to describe ourselves. So, it's a bit of a conundrum there, right? We want to be individual, but we also want to fit into a greater category. But nowadays, right now particularly, the personal style movement has come under fire because of the idea that it's actually just another trend of itself, and now everybody is just calling the current fashion, the current style, your personal style. So they're saying all these people are looking for their own individual style and they all end up looking just the same. So, I think that there's probably a little bit of truth to that, but there's also definitely a way to find your own personal style if that's something that you're interested in. I know that I was, and I've kind of gone down this journey now, I feel like over the last 2 or so years. And yeah, I just thought I'd come on and talk about it a little bit. I love fashion, I'm really interested in it, and I want to make more videos about my own style journey. I also sew, so I want to be able to look at fashion inspiration and then create my own garments perfect for me from that. And I think that would be really fun to share with you guys. So yeah, that's why we're here today. And I figured to kick it all off, we might as well get to know me, what I like to wear, my inspirations, and yeah, so hope you enjoy. I'd say it all started about 2 years ago. Like I said, I moved to a new city, and I saw that as like an opportunity, right, that I could figure out what I liked and I could be fashionable for the first time in my life, basically. Before that, I always just kind of wore what was available and accessible, usually things from the clearance aisle, right? I still love some clearance if I'm going to be shopping at a store. I usually try to go thrifting nowadays. I have found definitely like all of my favorite pieces thrifting, so I'm a big fan of that. So when I started, I had seen the typing systems on the internet, and I think that a lot of people were really influenced by seasonal color analysis, the Kibbe system, the Kitchener system, right? Trying to figure out where you fall on these categories so that you can have a starting place to figure out what you should be wearing according to these systems. And I think that they all have their faults and they all have their, pros, I guess. I personally do think that color analysis is a very interesting and helpful thing. I'm self-typed. I never went to an official consultant, so I know that I could definitely be wrong, but I've had other people's opinions too, and they kind of agree with me that I am a deep winter or dark winter. So that's cool tones and darker colors, which I think makes sense given that I have very pale complexion and darker features like my hair and my eyes. But I do also have a bit of an olive undertone too, a very fair olive. So I think that the dark or deep winter really leans into that because it's the warmer of the winter colors, even if it's still considered cool. And I'm not going to get into all the other seasons just because I'm not very educated on them. And there's definitely other people who are way better at explaining all that stuff than I am. So it's out there. The information is definitely available. But this was all the rage. I think it still is probably. But yeah, that really helped me figure out, what colors I liked to wear, because I noticed that after I figured out what colors I should be wearing, it also really lined up with what I already had in my wardrobe a lot of the times and my favorite things to wear. So like deep burgundies, like cooler tones, cool tone greens, those dark navy blues. I'll pop up some photos here so you can get an idea of what I'm working with. But yeah, I think it honestly really lined up for me, and I just felt validated kind of in my choices, even though I don't think it's great to like rely on an outside system for validation. I feel like a lot of personal style comes from figuring out how to find that within yourself, personally. And then of course there's the body typing systems, which are supposed to help you figure out what types of clothes look best on you, what silhouettes, fabric types, textures, patterns, all of that. I struggled with this because, again, I didn't do it professionally and I didn't reach out to the internet for help, which I think is a good thing for me personally. And it was really difficult for me to be objective about like what my body actually looks like and not look at it very negatively, because the thing that I feel like is different between your color analysis and your body typing analysis is that the body type systems really have what I feel like is a good categories and like more like bad categories. I know this isn't technically true in the way that they are described, but it honestly does kind of feel that way. Like there's some that are more desirable. That's the word I should use. More desirable than others. And I just had a hard time not overanalyzing myself when I was trying to like look at it through those types of lenses. So I never was able to really figure it out. I think that if I had to pick one, I would pick a classic, but that's also just because it's the middle of the like most average of the spectrum, so it feels like a comfortable place to be. But I do know that like I like to wear waist high clothes. I don't always, but I tend to. I like to have waist definition. And yeah, like high-waisted pants, high-waisted skirts are definitely, I favor those. I think as far as like tailoring goes, it's really hard because I like both. I like having a very strong silhouette moment with like sharper ankles, and then I also like having a frilly, fluffy moment too. I do think that I tend towards more of the masculine side of things just based off of my facial features. But I'm really, I don't know. I couldn't figure it out personally. And then the essences gets even more complicated because it's not only like what your features are and how you look, but it's also the vibes that they give off. And that was even more confusing for me personally. So I decided to just pay attention to how I felt in my clothes and the things I found myself reaching for the most. And I think that's been a lot more helpful for me than any of these like typing systems have been. So these are some of my favorite things I've been wearing this winter. I finally have embraced skirts. I feel like I always thought they were too feminine before, but now I realize I actually really love them. I just need them to be not too tight or too short. Similarly, I love my pants to hit right at like the waistline. I love high-waisted. I don't think I'll be going back anytime soon. These lightweight flowy skirts are so comfortable, and this one's vintage. I really love it a lot. My shirts and t-shirts, I like them to be right at the waistline. I was wearing a lot of really cropped shirts, and obviously these ones still are cropped, but I think they're more comfortable for me because they're a little bit wider and they can just have like a little peek of belly sometimes. I really like these jeans because of the cuff at the bottom and how they're kind of like slouchy. This skirt is definitely my like staple piece. I feel like it is so comfortable and so cute. It makes me feel like more dressed up even when I'm just wearing anything, and I think it's so basic I can wear it with whatever I like, but I really like putting it with more feminine sweaters or tops. I recently thrifted this black jacket. I think it is such a classic cut, and it's something I'll definitely be able to hold on to for a really long time. Obviously, none of these pieces I'm showing are super styled. I'm not even wearing shoes because I don't wear shoes in my house, but we'll have to figure that out for the future. But yeah, I think I just had fun showing off some of the pieces that I like, and I'll hopefully get a little bit more into the styling of it in the future. Speaking of which, I just picked up this skirt from the thrift store. I think it's so cute and a very like playful version of the long skirt, the long denim skirt that was popular a few years ago. And I'm excited to see like what kind of cute tops I can pair with it. So I understand the hype for the aesthetic labels, okay? I get it. I think it's fun. I think that it's a really great way to like try to describe yourself to other people. It's kind of like a music genre, right? Like what fashion genre are you? But I don't have one yet. So maybe on my continuation of my journey, I will try and figure that out. And the other thing I have to say is that honestly, like finding my personal style has taken a very long time, and I'm definitely not done. Like I feel like I'm at a point now where I understand the basics that I enjoy, and I can like focus a little more on finding those like really unique pieces that make me happy. I have several. You know, I have the ones that really stand out to me that I know I love, but I don't really need to be just like adding to my wardrobe. I can just like focus on fine-tuning things and looking for the details that I really enjoy. So that is really fun to do, and I don't think that it can be done quickly. I really feel like you have to go through like maybe at least a season with something to know if you're like really reaching for it, really enjoying it. And I don't know if like I could just tell myself, oh, like if I needed to replace my whole wardrobe tomorrow, like what would I get? I think that's so difficult to do because I don't know what I would want to replace. I mean, I have my favorite things, but I just don't think I can go on a shopping spree and come out with like a whole new wardrobe, a whole new personal style. I think this definitely takes a lot of time to really figure out what it is that you like. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, I would really appreciate if you could hit that like and subscribe button. I'm just getting started here on YouTube, and it is definitely nerve-wracking to put yourself out there, to say the least, but I'm really excited, and I know that once I get a little more comfortable and a bit more confident, I think I can do a lot of really cool stuff on this platform. So I'd love if you could follow along. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.